Okay, let's begin. So, welcome to the launch of the Digital Readiness Assessment provided by DASA. First of all, just a little bit of housekeeping. Recording will be available. Please do feel free to ask questions during the webinar. We will answer those at the end of the webinar. And any additional questions to marketing@devopsagileskills.org, or you can also visit our website for more information at www.devopsagileskills.org. And I'm going to introduce the speakers today to talk about the Digital Readiness Assessment. First of all, we have Sukhbir Jasua, who is the chairman of DASA, and he will be explaining about DASA and the DASA membership. Then we have Sebastian Lorite, who is the head of manufacturing at EMEA. So the head of manufacturing EMEA at ServiceNow. And Marian Dragunov, who is agile coach at Key Systems Iberia. And today's agenda, we're going to be explaining about how DASA works. And then I will be handing over to Sebastian to talk about the working group. And then moving on to Marian to explain the digital readiness assessment and the live preview. And then we'll talk about DASA membership, and any questions you can let us know at the end. So I'm going to hand over to Sukhbir now to explain about DASA.
Thank you, Katrina. Hello, everybody. Very glad to be here with all of you to talk about DASA and in this introduction of another very interesting new product that DASA is launching. I want to take a couple of minutes to introduce DASA to all of you. DASA was established in 2016 and established primarily as a certification body for the DevOps and Agile domains. DASA has a network of 300 plus partner organizations that we work with. We are involved in helping define, co-create, and design standards and guidance around transformations, especially to help organizations in their transformation journeys. We operate in over 50 countries. It says 48, 50 countries around the world. And especially, as I mentioned, we are involved in offering certifications for professionals. So especially involved in certifying thousands, in fact, tens of thousands of professionals have been certified in DASA certifications and credentials over this past 6+ years now. So how did DASA's mandate evolve over a period of time? Let me take a minute to talk about that. DASA was established primarily as a certification body, but over this period of 6+ years, having been involved in working with a lot of enterprise, so corporate customers and governments, as well as service providers, our mandate has broadened to include 4 key pillars. The first of the key pillars is around building and co-creating guidance to help organizations in their transformation journeys. And how do we do that? We have several expert forums, working groups, and research initiatives that we support, where we bring together a global community of experts to work together on topics which are of relevance to the audience, to the organizations in their transformation journeys, and especially focused on the feedback of relevant topics which come from our member organizations. The second key pillar which we support is the community. We nurture and support communities of leaders, of practitioners, of coaches, and we allow these professionals to come together and learn from each other through sort of a managed way in which DASA supports by bringing together the important topics that these communities find interesting, relevant, are facing. So this is sort of a ongoing process that we go through to help these communities continue to learn, improve, nurture, share experiences, as well as challenges which they are facing. The third pillar, uh, the one which we actually initially started with as DASA, is around talent. Talent, as you know, is a very important topic that all organizations are facing, whether that's around talent acquisition, talent onboarding, upskilling, reskilling, talent mobility within the organization, so internal mobility. DASA is focusing on all of these talent-related topics that I just mentioned. So there is continuous work which is happening in the form of DevOps competence model being announced recently, and an upcoming launch of the DevOps Talent Academy that has been announced and is coming up for availability to all our member organizations. And that sort of highlights the major set of initiatives that DASA is working on to support the talent pillar. The fourth pillar that we support is recognition. This is really around celebrating successes and achievement in the DevOps field and highlighting organizations, teams, as well as individuals who are doing well in our domains, and with the intent to inspire others from the work which organizations, teams, and individuals have been doing, and to also create an environment of where good practices, achievements, and successes are shared. And we do this across also other areas such as individuals receiving recognition in the form of badges, role-based badges, etc. So there are again multiple initiatives as part of the recognition pillar that DASA supports. I hope I have interested you in exploring DASA and the work that DASA is doing a little bit more. And for any interest that you might have, please do reach out to me or one of our teams to understand more. In the back end of this webinar, I will give a little bit more information about the membership. And in the meantime, I'm going to return this to Katrina for her to introduce the real speakers, the real stars of the webinar today. Thank you very much.
So thank you, Sukhbir. And now we're going to Bastian, who's going to be talking about how the working group works. Over to you, Sebastian.
Thanks for the opportunity to present around the digital readiness assessment and the introduction of the DASA working groups. We have started roughly 6 months ago by establishing multiple working groups around several topics. What we set out to solve with the working groups is to build a community that help realizing DASA's vision. This is approached via the development of transformational guidance for organizations who are looking to transform, adopt DevOps, the agile way of working, and ensure they improve their performance. We are providing thought leadership around and into the DevOps agile way of working, and we want to provision a platform for leaders and practitioners to share that DevOps experiences and share story of the trenches. We are focusing on enabling of the talent who are supporting transformations and make sure that we develop a group of individuals who supports the people readiness. And for sure, we're working out loud and we would like to highlight and celebrate DevOps successes with our DevOps Agile Awards. So we have multiple working groups. We have a central group that focuses around the steering and alignment of the objectives of the different working groups to real-life data's vision. We have a data community who is working jointly with us to create leverage and see how the assets would help them in transforming companies they are cooperating with. And then we have, until now, 4 working groups. Working Group 1, who has been creating the digital readiness assessment, who's focusing on a, let's call it, comprehensive toolkit to support transformations. We have Working Group 2, who focus on enabling transformational services that you could consume that supports your need of the transformation. Importantly, and in joint collaboration with Working Group 3, who focus on a framework that helps you to establish the right skills and competences going forward for your organization to succeed in this endeavor of transforming and continuous and complex change. And we have Working Group 3, who's focusing around credentialing scheme, and recommended workshops to ensure that we create an accredited level of people who are certified working in this, let's call it, continuous change. So what I would like to express is that this is not an endeavor that's being established by just single individuals. I would love to introduce you the members who have contributed to the DRA. It's a comprehensive set of individuals who've collaborated and seasoned expert and thought leaders in the field of Agile and DevOps. So from left to right, we have Guy, Irfan, Yasmin, Jesus, Johan, Marcel, and on the bottom, Marianne, Naveen, Paul, René, Sari, and myself, who are been working for the past 6 months on establishing a comprehensive set of questions and statements to help you to assess where you are with your digital transformation. So moving on, what does the digital readiness assessment comprehend? What we would like to show around and what the digital readiness assessment entails and comprehend is that we would like to focus on a few areas. We still see that 70 to 84% of all transformational initiatives and effort fail. It's an unknown point of departure for a complex, large-scale, and often inevitable digital transformation. We all are in need to transform. Due to supply chain issues, geopolitical issues, or anything, we are in a current VUCA world. However, it's very uncertain and very difficult to identify the next best step to advance and progress in your digital agile transformation and invest in the right initiatives and include the right individuals in your guiding coalition. Therefore, reports still show that by McKinsey shows that 70% of the transformation still fails, and even a report of Forbes shows that we have still 84% of all large and complex changes fail due to a comprehensive set of issues. The top 5 we have identified as working group around the digital transformation fails and errors is that on number 1, the transformational initiatives are not aligned to strategic priorities and business outcomes. A digital transformation on itself is not a purpose. It is also not the golden bullet. We need to ensure that we align middle management, and we need to make sure that the right leadership skills are being developed so that we are able to accelerate our transformation and not diminish. We also, it's all about the people, but also we need to look to our strategic workforce planning, which talent to acquire, which talent to develop, how to use the knowledge. This is why we believe it's critical to invest in the right skills and talents in your organization. Culture was, is, and will remain a key barrier. Understand the cultural differences. How do we embrace diversity? And how do we make sure that we are able to overcome the organizational resistance to change? Ensure it's not about getting the job done. It's not about implementing a change. Enable technology on the swipe of a credit card. we believe a true digital transformation consists of developing capabilities that supports continuous learning and relentless improvements will be your core capabilities going forward. So that you're able to respond to all business development, market opportunities, or potential disruptions. So DASA has said with the working group 1 and all other working groups that we want to make an effort to help organizations succeed in its effort to transform. How to succeed by managing continuous and complex change, named like a digital transformation, is that we believe is that we should help our partners, our customers, the one who we collaborate with, to discover and develop great insights, also called like a heat map of its current state. Where are you today? All different elements of the transformation. However, where do I need to address my efforts? What if I would invest in this effort? What would change? What would the real benefit of addressing my efforts to it? So how can we, as working group 1 with the DRA, help you to decide to address your efforts? Okay, but if you have decided where, then also you need to plan, because we feel those who fails to plan plans to fail. What do you need to change? Who do we need to involve? How do we engage members, partnerships, community members, thought leaders to ensure we are able to accelerate and be successful in our transformation? And then the DRA also helps you to reflect again. Did my effort that I've invested really yield in benefits? Are we able to get feedback from the people, the processes, the governance, or our platform that we have implemented? And did it lead to the desired results? That's what the DRA needs to help you overcome. So what is the DRA? The Digital Readiness Assessment allows you to get an objective view of the true state of your organization. Until now, the Working Group 1 has created 40 statements to consider and answer. And based upon the global and collective expertise of all members, we have created those 40 statements and 7 dimensions. We believe the DRA is a unique solution that measures the current state of your organization across those 7 foundational dimensions of organizational readiness, being strategy and governance, organization, leadership, technology, flow, culture, and the people. We believe it's applicable in all sectors, sizes, and organizations, but we do envision that we would look into industry-specific statements. As such, we address constraints that will not exist in other industries. But I think it's critical to show what we have created. So with that, I would like to hand over to Marianne.
Well, first comes the benefits. So I'll start with benefits. All right. Thank you, Sebastian. So let's see what we aim to reach, right? We saw from the first part that to face the digital transformation is inevitable. First takeaway for me. Second takeaway, digital transformations are prone to failure, right? We saw the reasons most digital transformation fail. So when we set out to offer the DRA to you, we wanted to reach out 3 key benefits. The first one is identify your current state in regards to your digital readiness, wherever you are in your journey. So it could be in the beginning, it could be, as we say, work in progress, or it could be in a very mature state. Second, act as an objective and transparent basis for discussion with your peers, with your superiors, with your stakeholders on how to proceed, what's best to do next. And then we will provide quantified feedback on 7 dimensions and how you're progressing. And this is the third benefit we are aiming. And all these 3 benefits are encircled by our aim to contribute to continuously learning and improvement, and in that way also contributing to attract and keep talent. That links very well with DASA's mission. So these were the benefits. Now I would like to present you a bit more the 7 dimensions. Next one, please. All right. So what did we do at Working Group 1? We gathered the knowledge that we had. So the DASA principles we teach, and the trainings, and the frameworks, and the good practices. And we then reached out to our network and to DASA's ecosystem and interviewed people, interviewed leaders who are involved in digital transformation, and summarized the 40 statements that we found most relevant into these 7 dimensions. What is the reason for that? Well, to ensure you don't forget anything, that to ensure that we offer you a complete method to digital acceleration. So briefly going into each of these, strategy and government is about IT being an enabler. It's about business and IT working together, ensuring common governance, ensuring common strategic objectives. Then we have the organization, which focuses on the right structure, on the right operation models, which in turn enables or is supported as well by the right leadership style, coming to the third dimension, to the right behavior, to the right attitude demonstrated by the leaders of your organization. Then we have technology, and I must smile. You see, technology is not the dimension in a DevOps transformation, is one of the key 7. So here, when we talk about technology, we think of architecture, right integrations, right platforms, right automation initiatives, and so on. Then the next one will be flow. Here it's about continuity. It's about the root cause of DASA and DevOps. It's about lean applied in practice. And then we come personally to my 2 favorite ones, culture and people. This is again fostering the right talent, having the right behavior, ensuring the right feedback loops. It's about learning, and it's about people's development. And if that's still high level to you, I would like to give you a sneak peek, give you a live preview on what's in the DRA. All right. I'm going to share my screen to show the PDF, to show the DRA. Can someone confirm you see my screen?
Yep, looks good.
All right. So, of course, I would like to start with the DRA itself. That's our version 1.0. We finished the assessment freshly a few weeks ago, and that's the first view. So I'm quite excited to present it. Here you would see the 7 dimensions, and you would also have a short indication how to evaluate that. So from 1, not perform at all, or I don't know, I'm not aware, we do that, to 6, which is fully realized. And following these short instructions, you would see the dimensions, the strategy and governance, organization, leadership, technology, flow, culture, and people. Each of these with the relevant statements, which is to be evaluated by you and by key members of your organization to assess your maturity in the digital readiness, to figure out your starting point in the departure for transformation, to figure out the right initiatives. That's the current version of the DRA. And I personally find very useful the DRA assessment guidance. This is what I would like to briefly show you. So important, for whom is the DRA, right? Who would be the right persona? Who would mostly benefit from the DRA? You would find that here. And you would also find what is the the assessment type, how to use it, which are the dimensions you should consider again. And also having in mind the V2. So we were thinking about our next steps, as we will discuss with you later on, Sebastian, how to interpret the results with our help. And of course, where to find the DRA, right? That's on the website of DASA, www.devopsagileskills.org. To recap, when and how to use the DRA. First of all, agree with your key stakeholders upon the fact that you need a better understanding of your current situation on your point of departure. This is important to be able to determine the way forward. Second, secure the files that we just saw, the DRA, the assessment guidance. Make sure you understand this. Reach out for us if you have any questions. Answer each statement, and feel free to involve DASA during or after the evaluation. After that, review, reflect, discuss, align the overall situation, prioritize what you just found, prioritize what's coming next, what's your iterative approach. And again, feel free to contact us in case of any question. And last but not least, don't forget to think about continuous improvement and learning. Reflect where you are, reflect when you need to get the assessment, redo it anytime you feel appropriate, and don't forget to celebrate your successes. And again, who would benefit mostly from the DRA? Next one. Who would benefit mostly from applying the DRA? Well, we believe these would be the transformation leaders, so people responsible for the digital transformation itself, people responsible for carrying out holistic, agile / DevOps transformations. Their managers, their executives, colleagues, and leaders involved in agile practices and center of excellencies, and of course, all the executives from C-suite to board members who are involved into holistic transformation of their business. All right. So we saw the DRA, a very short preview. We saw the assessment guidance, and if that needs to be backed up by a few more materials, I strongly recommend you take a look at the executive summary, and I also strongly recommend a background paper. So with these four, we think you will be better equipped for your next steps on your digital readiness assessment. Handing over to you, Sebastian. What's next? What's coming after this first version of the DRA?
Thanks, Milan, and thanks for the great demo and explanation of the DRA itself. However, that's only just the current state. We already have a very long time, let's call it standing wish and view, what you have once upon a time that you have in mind that you would have an opportunity to see the actual performance of your organization in its current state. What if you could show exactly this? If they invest in certain, let's call pain points or potential market opportunities, how the organizations would transform and be successful in this changing world. So what we have set out, we believe that the digital readiness assessment can and will evolve into a pivotal instrument, a platform that leverages near real-time insights. We are collecting feedback and data of interactions and feedback of individuals and people, its organization, the processes the organization runs, the value streams they orchestrate, hire to retire, procurement to pay, or potential DevOps value streams around bringing software to life. And all those connected platforms where we are able to identify all those 7 dimensions of transformation, where leaders and organization benefits of directing its efforts and those changes they implement. We believe by building that platform and the future vision we see for the DRA, and that we can help organizations to organize themselves in an anti-fragile manner and dealing with the VUCA world. Those insights will not be only show us a heat map, but we will be able to support you by providing assets of the data members, the service providers, and the data community itself, the ambassadors, the influencers. As such, you can leverage their knowledge, their skills, and those assets as part of your transformational roadmap and journey. We would appreciate your feedback when leveraging DRA, ideas, needs, potential vision you have to improve and enhance our vision. And we would love to extend our team with experts of all levels around the DRA. Because we believe our DRA is built around the vision of Darwinism. It's not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent that survives. It's the one that's most adaptable to change. We believe our DRA is that instrument, and we are looking to your feedback and your help to contribute to build this platform to succeed. Okay, back to you, Katrina.
That's great. Thank you very much, Sebastian. And thank you, Marion. That was, very insightful. And I'm now going to hand over to Sukbir to talk about the DASA membership.
Thank you very much, Katrina. And happy to be back. I hope you enjoyed the introduction to the DRA. I would like to take a couple of minutes to talk to you about the DASA membership. There are two types of memberships that DASA supports. The enterprise membership is designed for corporates or governments to benefit from the various DASA products, whether those are in the guidance or community or talent, or in fact, recognition areas. DASA co-creates a lot of guidance as well as talent management related products, which are of benefit to our enterprise members. And we have now several case studies of enterprise members deploying, leveraging the products that DASA is creating, nurturing, and benefiting from those products. And DASA also has, for our service provider community, or consisting of consulting organizations or service providers or vendors, a membership which allows them to highlight their products and services. And DASA makes the effort for them to be able to put those services and products in context of the various DevOps principles and value points that DASA continues to nurture. For those of you who are interested in exploring either the enterprise membership or the service provider membership, please feel free to get in touch with us. We will be more than happy to highlight the details of what these memberships programs entail and how you can benefit from that, as well as highlighting how the other organizations who are current members are benefiting from it. Thank you very much for your time and attention today. And we wish you a great rest of the day. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Sukbir. And if anyone is more interested to learn about membership, please go to our website. Thank you for joining today's webinar. Now we have some questions from the audience, which I'm going to ask Marion and Sebastian to answer. So first up, we have Tom from London asking, why did you pick these 7 areas for the assessment? Marion, Sebastian?
I can go with that one. So we looked at a broad array of good practices and frameworks that are typical for the industry, typical for IT across all industries. And we also looked at what DASA has developed in terms of aspects, principles, dimensions. And we cross-checked these more academic approach with in-field experience. So we interviewed peers, we interviewed leaders, we had surveys, and with these results, we figured these 7 dimensions with the 40 statements would sum up the critical areas that you would have to address. Is that a definite list? Is that a final list? I hope not. As you, Sebastian, said, this can be perfectly evolved. It might be that we add further dimensions in future versions, but I strongly believe these 7 dimensions are quite a complete framework for now.
Okay, great. Thanks, Marion. And will you offer guidance around the assessment?
Sure. So apart from what's in the document, right? What's in the assessment guidance, which I've just shown, I strongly recommend you have a word with a DASA member or with one of us, the ambassadors, before you start. So it looks simple, 7 dimensions, 40 statements, evaluate 1 to 6. But my point here is you need a good understanding before you start. So reach out to us. That would be an easy guidance. Download the papers, download the DRA itself, check the guidance, make sure you have the right interviewees on board. So we saw the section for whom is the DRA most suitable for. And you can start, you can kick it off.
Yeah, and what I would like to add is you have seen working group 2 where we have envisioned data services, right? Where we do believe that as the current version allows you to do a self-assessment, going forward, we will have data analysts who help you to really comprehend the questions and assess based on industry thought leadership and experience on where you are. So if the self-assessment would not be available, we would have services around the DRA where you could leverage the data analyst to help you to fill in and provide guidance going forward based on the outcome of your heat map.
Okay. And Jennifer's asking, can I adopt this for my own organization and make changes to better fit their organization?
I think I would like to highlight that we have spoken with, we have done our pilot, we did our proof of concept, this work. And what we have found out that the majority of the questions that we have now being selected and the statements that we have put in allows to be agnostic to any industry. However, to highlight that potentially influence we see that works in a more like agile software development, but we do see that our practice around agile and DevOps are implemented around manufacturing, where we have let's call it a different type of worker around blue collar, who is less connected to a system, but now needs to start working in Scrum and Agile. So we believe that leveraging our base set of questions and statements around DRA is sufficient to get an initial insight. However, contextualize the information, the statements, and add additional questions and statements to it who are specific for your company, your teams, or your enterprise would be beneficial to get better insight and allows you to address those social barriers of adoption potentially better than only taking this, let's call general approach.
Okay, great. So yes, so you can use it for organizations and use it for teams as well. And what are the plans? What are you planning to do next?
We have highlighted our vision around the DRA, how it could evolve, but we do have set out a roadmap of different MVPs and versions around the DRA. So we would like to start adding insight. We would like to start collecting let's call it the insights that we got from the assessments, as such that we also envision that we could launch a future state of DevOps by data, where we show industry trends, where we have the top performance, on the lower or the higher percentile, or we have the lower percentile, potentially show best practices, how those specific, let's call it results, and how those can be overcome. So next to that, we would like to evolve the product as itself. We also would like to leverage this to become a thought leader in the industry of digital transformation and show how high and low performance could overcome the social barriers, leveraging the DRA itself.
Okay, great. And can you use the assessment during the transformation process or only at the start? If so, how often?
Let me take that one. I think you can start from the very beginning using the assessment. So just before the kickoff, just before you start, but you shouldn't stop there. You should do that at regular periods of time. Why? To see your progress, to see how your gaps are changing, to see how you're moving from your essays to your to be, and also to celebrate your success, as we said before. How often? Classic answer: it depends. It depends on the size of your organization, depends on the number of people involved, depends a bit on your industry, how dynamic it is. I would say every time you doubt, is it now again a time to do it? Um, it's probably a valid question.
Okay, great. Thanks, Marion. And there's many DRAs. Why should we choose this one?
Okay, let me take this question then. I believe that data has been created by the community and by industry thought leaders who have put all their energy and their mindset and have not built a theoretical model. They have built, I think also highlighted during the webinar by Marian itself, all that it's made by story of the trenches. We have industry thought leaders who lived the transformation and have found out on their own by help or partners how to overcome and solve some of the challenges they faced during the transformation. Those individuals has contributed in creating this DRA. I believe this DRA is therefore uniquely positioned, built about, let's call theoretical exercises, the collaboration with the working groups, but also augmented with industry expertise who have lived and done the transformation. I think that's a unique proposition. And with those insights, we also will start evolving the product itself by getting more leaders and more feedback out of the field, where we have said we are it's a living version, the DRA would evolve and therefore remains valid as an instrument versus a one-time effort. It can be tailored to do micro surveys, could be done to micro assessments. It's really a unique proposition that allows you to address and get insights in the efforts and where you invested.
Okay, great. Thanks, Sebastian. And how does this DRA take risks into account?
Let me try this one. Well, we can think of various types of risks, right? Risks around strategy, risks around people, risks around the product, the market itself, and this all is included in the dimensions of the DRA, right? So you would have the chance to assess the risk, and you would have the chance to think of possible mitigations following the steps provided by the DRA. How exactly are you preventing yourself from risk by performing the DRA, right? So it can serve you as a tool for self-assessing the risk you are. So the lower you score on certain dimensions, the higher the probability that you have a leak there in terms of risk management.
Okay, thanks, Marion. And, in terms of the positioning of the DRA, how does the DRA fit with other DASA working groups, Sebastian?
So when we started on the working group one, had the digital readiness toolkit, we have found out that other working groups are really working on awesome assets, have the skills, the competences, the framework. We do see services that could enhance the way how DASA looks into supporting those organizations who are amidst or planning their transformation. However, what we found out is what is then the comprehensive starting point? Where do they need to start? And therefore, while working on the DRA, we said we don't want to be dependent on other assets, other frameworks. So the DRA itself is not positioned to replace any of the other solutions, services, or assets created by the working group of its members. The DRA itself can be used on itself. However, it will unlock insights how other data services and solutions, or services and solutions of members, can help you progress in your transformation. If you look from that perspective, the combination of the DRA and those assets who are connected to it will start generating compound value versus single bound value going forward.
Okay. Thanks, Sebastian. And in terms of the development of the DRA, how often will you, update it?
We believe in our own principles. We listen to you. We incorporate your feedback. We expect that now that it's out, you guys, the participants, will leverage the DRA and use it, and we'll solicit your feedback, and this will enhance greatly our product. Please use the channels to reach out back to us, the mailbox, the site, and everything that you contribute to, everything that makes the DRA better. This would be added in the next iterative session, and you'll have the chance to co-create and shape what's the DRA with us. And linked to that, as the DRA evolves, we would like to extend our team with individuals, right? With experts from all these 7 areas. And this would greatly contribute to enhance the DRA, and it will make sure it stays relevant in the current environment that we work. So again, welcome to collaborate and contribute.
Wonderful. Well, thank you both, Marion and Sebastian. That's all we've got time for in terms of questions. And if you would like further information, please do go to our website, and the DRA will be available via the Talent Academy at www.devopsagileskills.org. So thank you both, Marion and Sebastian, for today's insights on the DRA, and thank you everybody for joining today, and look forward to hearing more. So thank you both, and thank you, Sukvir.
Thank you very much.